I can trace the biggest accomplishments and the greatest successes of my life back to one core principle. And on the flip side, I can take some of the greatest failures that I've had and some of the big losses that I have where I haven't hit my goals, and I can pin it on this one thing as well. It's shot my confidence to hell. It has set me back in my business, set me back financially, and it's something that Napoleon Hill talks about. And this one thing, if we can figure this thing out, it can really set us up for success and help us be almost unstoppable in reaching our goals. What is that thing? I will tell you in a second, because this is YouTube and that's what I have to do. My name is Patrick Benefit and I'm a mindset and success coach. My entire job is with this channel, with everything that I do, is to help you live a more intentional, fulfilled, and successful life. Now, these videos come out every single Monday, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see when they come out. And if you want more, I've got a newsletter that comes out every other week. Click the link in the description to subscribe. So what is this one thing? The greatest catalyst in my life between success and failure. I can add a couple more questions in there to give you a couple more cliffhangers, but Napoleon Hill calls it definiteness of purpose. And if you've read Think and Grow Rich, he spends an entire chapter talking about this point and how all people who are very successful have it. And I can point to this in my life, and I'll give you a couple of examples. My mom was a very influential and very high caliber leader within Mary Kay. And she had a saying all the time when I was a kid that I really took to heart, which was, if you believe it, you can achieve it. Definiteness of purpose, what that means here is you know what it is that you're working towards. You're very, very, very clear on the purpose behind what you do. You have a mission. We call it a lot of times vision. And when I think about the greatest successes in my life, when I think about the obstacles that I overcame, when I think about getting into the Army, the way that I got the scholarship that I received into ROTC, the way that that happened, when I set my sights on graduating Ranger School and earning that coveted Ranger tab, there was never any question that I was going to be successful. There was never any question that I was going to get there. It didn't happen perfectly. None of it happened perfectly. But in my mind, failure was never a possibility. It's not that it wasn't an option. Failure is always an option, but it was never a possibility for me because I knew that no matter what, I wasn't going to quit and I wasn't going to stop until it happened. And the same thing happened when I was getting ready to leave my job. I had my sights set on using real estate as the means to leave. And I had that date. Once I figured out my criteria, I had that date set in stone and nothing could stop me. To the point where 6 days before I was putting in my 2 weeks notice, I still had the time to pull it back. I hadn't even put it in yet. Found out that we were gonna have a baby. Total surprise. Totally unexpected. I had that definiteness of purpose that I knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that it was going to happen. I had done all the work, I'd put in the reps, I'd done all the things, I'd laid all the groundwork and set the foundation, and I had a very clear vision on where I was going. And it was deeply personal to me. And when it was deeply personal, I was unstoppable. I was absolutely unstoppable in all of these things. I killed it in real estate for the first year and a half because I had that definiteness of purpose. I killed it in the Army because I had that definiteness of purpose. And then things started to shift a little bit, and that's where I lost it. Once I got out of my job, I lost that purpose to a large extent. And I've talked about that a little bit before. But to frame it in this way, that was the catalyst for me. In one area, by having that deeply resonated purpose, it led to massive success. Once I quit, once I no longer had that purpose behind me, kind of floundered. I set goals in real estate. I started doing more flips. I started building a flipping business, but I didn't have a deeply resonating purpose. And as a result, I paid the price. I didn't really clearly know what I wanted. I started pursuing a business where I set lofty goals. I set a target of $650,000 in profit when what I'd done the year before was around 100. And I had no real tie to that goal at all. It didn't mean anything to me, but I set that goal for myself. And then inevitably, I didn't get there. I pivoted partway through. It wasn't going well. I was miserable. I hated what I was doing, but I didn't have a clear purpose. And then later on, as I started to pivot more and I got into a lawn care company that I didn't love and didn't care about, and it didn't really mean anything to me either. The goals that I set there, they didn't come to fruition. And I started to second guess myself and I started to question my ability because this confidence that I had when I dove into anything that I'd done before, I knew that I would be successful. I carried that into these things and I was struggling and it killed my confidence a lot. And it wasn't until I dove deep and I really spent some time figuring out why, I truly started to grasp how important this was. When I set a $650,000 target in real estate, it was a number on a piece of paper. Even though I made commitments to other people, I built a vision around it for my company. It didn't have anything internally. It didn't resonate with me. The number was cool. It would have been fun. It would have been nice change in my pocket to have that much coming in that year, but it didn't mean anything. Same thing with the lawn care company. Any of the goals that I set for the lawn care company, I didn't care. I didn't care about the grass or bushes at someone's house. I couldn't get behind that. That wasn't going to push me through when things got hard. And so when shit inevitably hit the fan, I was frustrated and I didn't have the drive to push through because none of it really mattered that much. But once I figured out, once I got into this space where I know what my mission is, I know that my purpose is to help people create meaning in their lives, to live more fulfilled, intentional, and successful lives. When that's my goal and that's my purpose, now everything that I do, I can push through anything again. I now know that whatever goals that I set with my Charlotte entrepreneurs community, with my coaching group, with the online community that's going to come online this summer. All of it is going to be successful because I won't stop until it is, because it deeply, deeply, deeply matters to me. And so that's where I encourage you. What is that deep sense of purpose that you have? What is your, as Napoleon Hill calls it, what's your definiteness of purpose? Do you have one? And are the goals that you have in line with that purpose? A lot of times we have a purpose that's way over here where we talk about the impact that we want to make and the things that we want to do. And then the goals that we have are way over here. And we think, well, once I get there, then I can make a difference. Line those things up. How can you make sure that the things that you're doing right now are important? The steps that you're taking are meaningful. They're getting you in the direction that you want to go. Do you have a vision to help you keep on the right path? Do you have a mission that you're trying to accomplish with your life? If you have those things, everything becomes easier. If you don't have them, start working on it. It's never too late to start building one. And if you need help with that, that is quite literally what my coaching is all about, is helping you build purpose, helping you build a mission. So reach out, drop a comment, subscribe to the newsletter. I'd love to chat with you more, but find that purpose, because once you have it, everything changes. It's a major difference, at least in my life, between success and failure. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.